built up a really good trust, but also with Willem and Dan and Renee and Sophie and Hilary as well. It's just a really comfortable environment, and I was uncomfortable with it at first, and I still feel sometimes a little bit uncomfortable with it, but at the end of the day, when we're running the play, I don't think about it. And I think that's testament to the process that we have undergone and the trust that we have with each other. You know, I might in the weekend go, wow, I've been kissing a guy all week. But when it comes down to it, it's not what I'm thinking about. So, you know, it's, I think the credit to the team involved and the writing, the strong writing as well.
And the reverse of that, you get a lot of homosexual actors who have to play straight people all the time. Like the amount of times I have to fall in love with a woman on screen and on stage and everything, but I don't think it's a major deal. Like, you look at the person as a person and you can relate to that. You know?
And you're acting.
You're acting. I mean, how many serial killers do you see on the screen? You know, they're probably not serial killers. So they feel comfortable in that skin while they get into the role. For Hollywood actor who's come out and made it.
Yeah.
Not one. Like Rupert Everett, I mean, come on, he does Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts. It's like, you know, second string. I mean, that's probably the closest you're going to get. And Ian McKellen, he does wizard roles. Like, he's not playing a romantic lead, you know.
But there's the line in the play, are you British, are you knighted?
Yeah.
I think it's more accepted in Britain.
Once you're knighted.
But I mean, it's definitely out there, and that's how, I mean, it's exceptionally relevant. I've often thought, like, you know, whether I could go to LA or something, and it just doesn't, I'm never going to make it, because I'm not the American dream, you know.
I sort of, my journey, I tend to just sort of pick out one sort of overriding theme that sticks out to me, and that was sort of the hype of celebrity lifestyle. And what is at essence in that is Hollywood. And so I was just like, Hollywood. And then suddenly I just, over like lunch with Willem, I was just like, what if the set literally is Hollywood? And they just act upon that. And I think it was the first monologue of Renee's. I sort of just pictured Renee in this gown standing on the Hollywood sign. And that's sort of where it all sort of sparked from, and that's when I began thinking, oh, the letters could be this, and they could become that, and we could use it in that way. And the sort of metaphor of it falling apart is sort of, you know, similar to some of the other characters' journeys as well, that they're striving to get to a place that is just a mess at the moment.
In a certain place in time, that, of course, like, yeah, it's in Hollywood, but we can relate to that in our own way. So, like, what I'm interested in as a director is sometimes that you can present, like, for instance, Angels in America, same thing, which is set in 80s New York, but yet when we see it, we can connect ourselves to the human questions that lie in that world, that specific world, and that's what I find really intriguing about actually not going in this whole kind of, let's play this in this specific setting so we make it local. But personally, I'm actually much more interested how we can bring the world to New Zealand rather than that we are treating theatre in New Zealand as something isolated and that we want to produce New Zealand plays all the time. I think it's very, very important that New Zealand is constantly relating itself to a bigger world perspective.
There's just so many forces come into play when you're choosing and selecting a season. And it is everything from people's individual careers and what they're aspiring to and what they're trying to achieve, plus things that audiences are going to relate to and enjoy, that there are definite specific audiences that aren't always serviced well by theatre companies or by entertainment in general, and, you know, gay plays with gay themes is one of them. It's like one in a season, you know. So there's a whole gamut of things that come into play, And once again, what I'm interested in is the energy that something creates, the conversation that's going to develop, the fact that people will go away and talk about this. The other thing is that we, and you might be able to say yay or nay to this, but when I lived in the United States, our understanding of the United States, and I'm talking about culture from the USA, is so familiar to us. When you go there, you actually feel like you're on a Hollywood set the whole time. You've seen these places on our televisions. It feels very, very familiar. But I suspect people from the United States would have great difficulty relating to a play that was purely New Zealand. They would have great difficulty. But we know. That's why we're so incredibly wonderful and cosmopolitan. You know, but we don't have any problem relating to it.
And like what you're referring is like, okay, when I see something, is it what I'm seeing, is it good? For me as a director, I'm not so interested in good or bad, because I think it's much more interesting, and this is what we're doing when we're creating work, that we're treating the work as an research or as an investigation of human nature. So when you're sitting there as an audience, I'm not so interested in preaching an answer to you, but I'm much more interested in empowering you to think about the themes that are related to this play, which has everything to do with identity, with the question of who am I in this world, what kind of responsibility do I have to be in this world. And that is what excites me as a director, that an audience is going away with that kind of thinking, because then we're actually creating art, and otherwise it's just blunt entertainment, which is nice. I don't think this place is for that.
And I hate sport analogies being used in a line with art and art making, but it is the same. It's the thing of, you know, there are football clubs that fail for years and then suddenly take off and everyone gets behind them or whatever. Theatre in essence is no different. It has a history, it has an evolution, it has groups of people who come and go, and you know, you can see people who started here, and this is a very good example. You know, our cast here are 2-3 years out of drama school. What interests me as that producer-director that we talked about is where they're going to be in 5 years, or 10 years, or 20, or even someone like me who starts talking about 35.
What was great about this production, and actually I'm quite interested to do that in the future as well, because we've worked 1 week quite early, and then we took a month out of rehearsal, and then we went back into rehearsal. And what was quite interesting is that, like, as a performer, as an actor, you start already seeding some stuff of the character and the story in your body, and then it sits unconsciously with you. So when you come back into a rehearsal process, it's something that has been living with you for a while, and that's actually quite fantastic. In Holland you have 7 weeks rehearsal, and that you can see that because these actors live the character in a certain way, and they play not only, you know, like you come definitely back in 2 weeks time and the show will live on a different level. You know what I mean? Like, it creates layers the more longer you have, but financially it's not possible at this moment. But,
look at the cast of The Sopranos. We're going to be right back on E.
Thank you so much for asking.
It looks beautiful. Show it off. Do a little turn. Oh my God.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited and happy and anticipatory.